Peruvian bishops decry approval of abortion for 11-year-old girl.
Here's a summary of the article.
The bishops of Peru express their opposition to a medical board's approval of an abortion for an 11-year-old girl, and highlight the state's duty to protect the right to life of both mother and unborn child. The Catholic bishops of Peru have raised their voice in defense of life after a medical board approved an abortion for an 11-year-old girl. In a press release, the Peruvian Bishops' Conference upheld the Church's teaching of the right to life for unborn children and the rights of the child's mother. In response, Peru's bishops insisted that life is an absolute and inalienable right, because it is a divine gift, which God asks us to safeguard, as the fifth commandment states, "You shall not kill." The bishops pointed out that Peru's constitution and the Peruvian Code for Children and Adolescents says, every human being is considered a child from conception to the age of 12. The state has the duty to protect the conceived child. The bishops go on to urge civil authorities and healthcare personnel to uphold the culture of life and not open the doors to the culture of death. Finally, Peru's bishops appeal that little Mila be adequately cared for, that she may be helped to heal from the wounds of rape, that she not be subjected to an abortion, and that the rapist be prosecuted to the full extent of the law and new abuses are avoided.
This post received a score of 5,700, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Where's his outrage for the man that raped a child?
This is so true, and the same as the 10-year-old girl in the States a few months ago. Horror at the doctor performing the abortion. The girl getting the abortion but nothing on the man raping the girl. What a screwed up way of pointing fingers. No, the right was outraged, the rapist was undocumented.
What difference does that make to the child? Edit. For the kids that don't read good. That, in the context above, is referring to the individual's immigration status. Holy lack of inference, Batman.
Nothing, but that isn't going to stop them.
The only person responsible for this abortion is the man who raped this child. Why isn't the anger directed at him?
Because God works in mysterious ways apparently.
God works in rapey ways. Don't believe me? Just read the Bible.
Listen, just because God raped that 12-year-old which almost got her stoned to death doesn't mean God's a bad guy. And hey, Mary's rape baby turned out to be the savior of man, so like that totally gives God a pass for raping that child, right? It's just in case.
As someone that was raised to be anti-abortion, this kind of thing is what made me pro-choice. An 11-year-old forced to give birth could very likely die. This is clearly not about respecting life, but control. These fucking pendejos don't give a shit about that girl.
Greater than don't give a shit about that girl when Catholics gave a shit about women? I will make your pains in childbearing very severe, said the big guy.
Worse is that she shouldn't even be regarded as a woman. She's a literal child.
Most of these religions consider you a woman as soon as you have your first period and are biologically capable of getting pregnant. So for them she would be considered a woman already, as would millions of what most consider children. Once you are physically capable of performing your womanly duties, you are a woman to them.
Greater than let us not open the doors to the culture of death. Instead, let's open the door to extreme and continued suffering. It seems to me that death is unavoidable, but suffering is not.
To these people, suffering of others is a feature, not a bug. Because God would never give you more suffering than you can handle or some such bullshit.
God seems to hand out more suffering than people can take all the time. Aren't people dying of starvation? I figure starving to death involves a lot of suffering and then you die. Religious BS gives me a migraine.
Greater than Peru's bishops insisted that life is an absolute and inalienable right, because it is a divine gift, which God asks us to safeguard. As the fifth commandment states, "You shall not kill." They should read some history. Also remember the time when their boss killed everyone in the world except some lads in a boat?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.